Well, the concert has a piece from our guest artist, Alan Sainer, and this is a big group piece that has a lot of movement, a lot of energy, and the soundtrack is a little kind of cool, jazzy kind of music to it. Alan has the dancers running and jumping and leaping and flying through the air and rolling to the ground, and all with this kind of, hey, look how cool I am, and don't you wish you were me up here dancing kind of feel to it. So it's very entertaining. And we also have another guest artist, Mary Davies Stark, and she's doing a jazz piece that has some music that has some samplings from Breakfast at Tiffany's. And it also kind of has a cool vibe to it. And Mary, she's recently got a job at Target Corporate downtown in Minneapolis. And so she's been a dancer and a model for a long time now, and now she's got this corporate kind of thing happening in her life as well. So she wanted to make a dance that kind of combined those three worlds, the dance world, the modeling world, and the corporate world. And just how she's, trying to fit in all of these worlds and looking at, fashion, how clothing is slightly different in all three of these worlds. And yet it's always important to look your best. And she tells a story about how, when she's getting ready in the morning, it takes her an hour to do everything, to get all ready. Meanwhile, her husband only takes about 10 minutes to walk out of the door looking the way he does. And so that kind of, hey, is this all worth it kind of a thing. And so she tries to answer that question with her piece. So then we also have two works from Julie Kerberry, professor here in the department. One piece is a big group piece that is to Baroque music, and you would think, oh, this is going to be very hoity-toity and kind of stiff back and very proper dance. And yet she goes against the music and celebrates the joy of the music with movement. And so it's very light and it's a lot of fun. And then she also has a second piece that is a men's duet. And this piece has two of the men in our program that are very serious actors and very talented actors, but also amazing dancers. And this piece is more serious, and it challenges the audience to look at these two men and these men that can dance beautifully and perform, but also add so much context and texture to their performance because of their acting background, and some amazing performances out of these two men. Yeah. And then we also have two student works in the concert. One is a solo by Jen James that she choreographed herself on herself. And this piece is exploring the challenges of dealing with an event that happens in your life that really changes things for you. And how do we recover from something that's been kind of a trauma in our lives. And her ability to create a solo that kind of sucks us into her own kind of life and where she is, it's very intriguing to watch. And then our second student piece is from Amanda Abeling. This is a trio, and it has some irony in it. It's very ironic. And it kind of has a sense of the beatnik generation, if you know what that is, where there was a little bit of sense of humor behind things. And it's a very short trio and a lot of fun to watch. And it's the kind of thing where as you're watching, you just kind of have a nice smile on your face as you're watching, a little bit of irony on stage. And then last we get to, of course, the most important work in the concert. I'm kidding, of course, but I also have a piece on the concert, and this dance is about cell phones. And it's a big group. I think I have 23 dancers so many dancers, sometimes I forget who exactly is in my piece, but because I only have everybody together on one day of the week, on Fridays, and other than that, I'm working small little sections. The dances, like I said, about cell phones, and recently I got an iPhone, and if you haven't seen these devices, they're amazing. They're no longer called cell phones; they're called smartphones. But one of the challenges with that is it's so smart that sometimes it makes me feel stupid because I don't know how to operate the thing. And so I wanted to create a dance that dealt with cell phones and smartphones, and what's it like to be able to have the entire internet in your pocket and have access to all of that information, and access to things like Facebook, and how is that changing our relationships with our friends? We're communicating with our friends through a website, and how does that change things? Or technologies on our phones like Twitter, where now we can send out a text message, and before we used to just send it to one person, and now we can send it to the whole world. And who's reading it, and why would they care what we're texting? And a lot of other things about cell phones that we deal with. People on the phone that are annoying us because we're just trying to be at the restaurant and eating, and they're yapping away, and interacting with people who are so busy on their phone that you can't get a moment with them, and any and all other things that have to do with cell phones. And a little bit of comedy, a little bit of dancing, a little bit of some text and some monologues. And this is also a piece that combines dancers with theater students. So it's kind of what we call a dance theater piece. Audiences in Mankato are very familiar with theater because we have an amazing theater program here with shows all year long and a great season. And some of these audience members are now kind of discovering that we have a dance program as well, and coming over to see some of our dance concerts and thinking, well, what would I expect to see at a dance concert? And dance has developed and grown so much in the last few decades that it's no longer just watching people do pretty movement. Choreographers now are exploring dance and using it as a way of looking at different parts of life, different aspects of the human existence and our experiences. And the power of dance is because we start with an empty stage and we start with the human body. It has so much potential to go in so many different directions. Now, if we look at a piece of theater, that usually starts with a script, and a writer is sat down and written words, and then a director reads those words and figures out, okay, I can cast certain actors in these roles. And so, in a sense, a theater piece starts from a very specific place, and that's great. That's what it does really well. Dance comes from a different place. We come from space. I mean, literally open space. And because of that, because we have open space and we're dealing with the human body, because of that, we have the potential and the power to explore themes in a very fundamental, almost primitive, kind of raw way of looking at humans and relationships and themes. So it can be quite powerful.